Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights. Today we are going to learn how to read CSV file into a data frame using Pyspark. Watch my previous video in this playlist. I have pinned them in the I button before you watch this video as they are in the logical order. So in this playlist, I will go from basics to advanced concepts. So watching the video in the order will actually help you. So on my screen, you will see there's a notebook created called Reading CSV File in Pyspark. And I've attached this notebook in the cluster called Small Cluster, which is running in Spark 3.3 and Scala version 2.12. There are two methods to read the CSV file. So we will discuss both the methods one by one. So the first method that you can use is using spark.read.csv and then the path. So Databricks provides an object called Spark in order to read the CSV file. So basically the Spark is an object that is being derived from the Spark session. So if you want to know more about what is the Spark in the Databricks that's being defined, then you can go through the documentation of it. So in order to go through the documentation, you just type help and then the Spark command. If you will see, it has been derived from this class called Spark session. And what is the Spark session? That is also being written here. It's basically an entry point to the Spark itself. So Spark provides multiple methods. So in order to learn what all methods Spark provides, you just go ahead and scroll down. So if you will see, it says what are the methods defined inside the Spark, right? So let's go down and see what are the Spark methods. So we will concentrate on reading the file. So let's find out if there's any method called read, right? So here they are, the class methods are defined here. So let's see if there's any method called read. Here we go. So here there is a method called read, right? Which returns a data frame reader API. So using this read method, you can go ahead and read the file. So let's see if there's any method inside the read itself, or it just passes any parameter of it. So I will just do a help and spark.read. It will give you the documentation of this data frame reader API, which is derived from this class data frame reader. So the methods are defined here. So let's see what methods are present. So there's a method called CSV. So we have to use the CSV method in order to read the file. So if you will see, there are a lot of parameters that has been passed inside it in order to read it. All of them are not mandatory. Only few of them are mandatory that you need to pass. Others are optional. If it is an optional parameter, it's been written that it's an optional parameter, right? So if you go down, you will see there are some parameters here. So what type of data type it will be using in order to declare the parameter. So if you are passing a path, it should only be a string or a list. If you pass any other type of parameter, it will throw you an error. So you can go through this documentation. I will not go through each and every bit of it because Spark documentation is quite huge. So go through it as per your requirement and learn about it. And if you go down, it also has some examples in it. So if you will see, it says how exactly you can read the CSV file, how you can read the text file, and so on, right? So let's go ahead and see how we can do it. So this is the method one in order to read the CSV file. In order to read, I have uploaded a data called employee1.csv file. So let me show you that. I will go to data. There's a dbfs location, and then we have the file store. Inside the file store shared uploads, I have uploaded this file called employee1.csv. Let me show you this employee CSV quickly. So the Excel file contains two entries and three columns. Three columns are ID, name, and department. So the first method is using the spark.read.csv. So you just have to provide the path of that CSV file in this and display it. So let me run this command. How will you run a command? You just have to press the control and enter in order to run it. Or you see a drop down here called run cell. If you click on it and click on run cell in order to run it. So now if you see, it has given me the records ID 1 and 2, but the headers are also coming up as an entry. I don't want that. The header is here, it's coming up as C0, C1, C2. Let's remove these and put the ID, name and department in the header. So for that, you just have to make header equal to true. So if I make header equal to true and then I run it, you see it's giving me the ID, name and department in the header itself, and there are only 2 entries right now. And let's see what is the schema that the Spark has already inferred. So there are 3 entries, so all of them are string type. So we will also see how we can go ahead and change the data type of it later. Let's concentrate now on the method 2, how to read the CSV file. So the method 2 is actually having a format in which you can go ahead and declare what is the format of the file and what is the option that you can declare. Let's say the format of the file is not CSV. Then what you can use, if it is a text file, then you have to mention it as a text. So therefore, Spark has provided this opportunity as well in order to declare the format of it. So you can mention it inside this as a parameter, and the option in the previous one, you saw that the header you were passing it as a true as boolean, but here you are passing it as a string. Once you have declared the option, then you can go ahead and use the load method in order to declare what is the path of the file. And now this particular thing will be saved in a data frame. So now I will go ahead and display the data frame. So now you see that it has created a data frame out of the file itself, and it is the same output as the method 1 that we discussed, right? So this is how you can read the file. Now let's discuss how you can go ahead and explicitly declare your schema. You don't want the schema to be inferred by the Spark. So for that, the first thing that you need to do is to import the Spark type library. So for that, you declare pyspark.sql.types and then import star. Star means all the data type it's going to import, or whatever functions are present inside this module, it will go ahead and import everything. So for that, I have declared a variable called schema. In that schema, I am using this struct type module. Now you will be wondering, how will I go ahead and know what options I need to pass in the struct type? In order to do that, again go to the documentation, go to help and struct type. You will see the definition of it. It's been derived from the struct type. What will be the return type of it, and which class or which module it's using. It's using this pyspark.sql.types that we just imported in. So let's go down and I will see some methods defined here, right? So in the methods, you see the add function. So in the add, again, there are some parameters. It will return a data type called struct type. So in the add, there is a parameter called field data type. So you have to pass the field name. Let's say what is your columns that you are passing and what data type you want to declare. So these 2 factors you have to put, and nullable factor. So nullable is not mandatory. So either you can skip it or you can put it. It declares whether the nullable is true or false. So now let's go back to the top and you will see that it's struct type.add. I've mentioned the field. I have 3 columns, so I mentioned 3 times this add function, and I've used the field ID, name and department. Now the data type. I want the ID to be an integer type because it's just 1, 2, it will be an integer. It will not be a string. So I want it to be an integer type. So I mentioned it as an integer type function. And I want the name and department to be string type. So I've declared it as a string type. So let me run this command. So it says it runs completely with 10 seconds. Now I'm going to read that using the schema itself. So for that, I will just mention an additional parameter here in the Spark Read CSV data frame API, which is schema, right? So I'm declaring that schema parameter and declaring that schema variable inside that. So let me display it, whether it's loading or not. See, it's loading here with the ID, name and department. Let's see what is the data type now. It is print schema, that is ID, name and department. ID is the integer now. I will give you a very good tip and trick right now in order to showcase how you can efficiently use Databricks. Let's say I want to go ahead and run this command itself, right? I want it to be auto-filled. I will just write df.with schema, that is my data frame name, and put a dot and then press control and space. You will see all the functions are coming up here. If you want to use any function, like you want to cache it, you want to collect it, collect it, column is there. So you see a lot of functions are there, and there are some instances as well. So you can use any of them. We will discuss on this, right, and all the functions and instances in the coming videos one by one. So now I just want the print schema. I'll just write the P letter. You see, the print schema is there. So I'll just click on it and brackets and hit enter. It will run the command and it will show you the output. It's a very good tip and trick that you can go ahead and use in Databricks in order to autofill and save your time. That's all I had for today's video on how to read the CSV file in Pyspark. In the coming videos, we will learn how to read multiple files at one go and how to write them into a data frame. If you feel this video added value to your knowledge and helped you, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you are new to my channel, then hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.